This is not my first life. What if everything you know about life and death is just one chapter in a much longer story? What if you've lived before and might live again? For some, that's comforting, but what if a child starts describing places they've never been, people they've never met, and a death they couldn't possibly remember? Today, we're not talking theory. We're looking at real cases that have stumped skeptics and challenged our understanding of consciousness. These are documented accounts filled with details so specific and verifiable, they demand our attention. Are these children gifted storytellers or living proof that the soul carries on? You'll hear their words, see the evidence, and meet the people whose lives were changed forever. Listen with an open mind and decide for yourself. Is this a trick of the mind or a glimpse into the greatest mystery of all? Imagine a world where the past isn't just history, but a living memory. Meet James Leininger, a little boy from Louisiana whose life took an extraordinary turn. A journey that began with unsettling nightmares at the tender age of 2. These weren't ordinary childhood dreams. James would wake up screaming, reliving a terrifying scene. A plane on fire. The vividness of his terror was palpable, a stark contrast to his innocent years. He spoke of a crash, not as a distant event, but as a present, horrifying reality. His descriptions were haunting. A man trapped inside the burning wreckage, a desperate struggle against insurmountable odds. His parents, Bruce and Andrea, initially dismissed these episodes as mere childhood fantasies, but they were baffled by the intensity and consistency of the dreams. As James grew older, the nightmares evolved into detailed recollections. He insisted he was remembering, not dreaming, and the details he provided were far beyond the scope of a typical child's imagination. He spoke of flying a specific type of plane, a Corsair, a distinctive aircraft of World War II. He recounted taking off from a boat, not just any boat, but one he specifically named the Natoma. He even named a friend from his time as a pilot, Jack Larson, a name seemingly pulled from the annals of history. Bruce, a man of science and inherently skeptical, felt compelled to investigate these extraordinary claims. He began to research. His research led him to an astonishing discovery: the USS Natoma Bay, a real 1-2 escort carrier that served in the Pacific Theater. Delving deeper, he found a roster of the ship's personnel. On that list was a pilot named James Houston, Jr., a young man who was tragically killed in action at Iwo Jima. The more Bruce researched, the more the details James provided aligned with Houston's life and death. Every detail James gave matched Houston's life and death. From the specific quirks of the Corsair plane he flew to the harrowing details of the crash itself, the parallels were undeniable. Further investigation revealed that a pilot named Jack Larson did indeed serve with James Houston Jr. on the USS Natoma Bay. Veterans confirmed Jack Larson served with Houston. James's mother, Andrea, a devout Christian, found herself grappling with a profound conflict. She struggled to reconcile the mounting evidence with her deeply held religious beliefs. In an attempt to find answers, the family arranged a meeting with Houston's surviving sister, Anne. During this emotional encounter, Anne confirmed even more private details about her brother's life. Details that James had somehow known and shared, further deepening the mystery. This wasn't just a story pieced together from fragments of imagination. It was a meticulously detailed case where a child's memories aligned perfectly with the life of a man who had died decades before his birth. The Leiningers were forced to confront a possibility that challenged the very foundations of their understanding of life and death. They had to consider the extraordinary possibility that their son was, in some way, the reincarnation of a fallen 1-2 pilot. For them, and for the countless others who have heard this remarkable story, it was a life-altering revelation, a glimpse into the profound mysteries that lie beyond our comprehension. The case of James Leininger remains one of the most compelling and well-documented cases in reincarnation research, continuing to intrigue and baffle experts. How could a toddler, barely able to speak, possess such intricate knowledge of a man who perished long before he was even conceived? The mystery endures, a testament to the enduring enigma of consciousness and the possibility of lives beyond our own. In the bustling city of Glasgow, Scotland, a young boy held on to memories that seemed to belong to another time, another place. Young Cameron Macaulay spoke longingly, not of his current life, but of a life he claimed to have lived before. His words were filled with a deep sense of yearning. He spoke of his other family on the remote, windswept Scottish island of Barra, a place he had never physically visited. He vividly described a white house nestled on the beach, its walls gleaming under the island sun. He recounted the unique experience of planes landing directly on the sand, a common practice on Barra due to its natural runway. He remembered a beloved black and white dog, a loyal companion from his past life. And he spoke of a father named Shane Robertson, a central figure in his Barra memories. These weren't fleeting thoughts, they were persistent and detailed recollections. Cameron had never been to Barra, not in this lifetime anyway, yet his memories were vivid and persistent, filled with sensory details and emotional resonance. It was as if he were reliving moments from another life. So much so that his mother, Norma, initially skeptical but increasingly intrigued and concerned for her son's well-being, decided to take him there, hoping to find some answers, or at least some peace for Cameron. Accompanied by Dr. Jim Tucker, a child psychiatrist specializing in cases of children with past life memories, they embarked on a journey to Barra, a quest to unravel the mystery of Cameron's memories. Cameron immediately recognized the beach runway, even before the plane touched down. And without hesitation, he directed them to a white house that perfectly matched his detailed descriptions. Local records confirmed that a Robertson family had indeed lived there decades ago, and an old photograph surfaced, showing a black and white dog remarkably similar to the one Cameron remembered so fondly. While some details didn't align perfectly, as memories often fade and distort over time, the sheer number of accurate memories, corroborated by historical evidence, was staggering and deeply unsettling. After visiting Barra, Cameron's intense longing for his other family gradually faded. He seemed to find a sense of peace and resolution, a quiet acceptance. It was as if seeing the place, connecting with the land of his memories, allowed him to finally let go of his past life and embrace his present. For Norma, the experience was both unsettling, challenging her understanding of reality, and ultimately healing, seeing her son find peace. Cameron's case remains a striking and compelling example, documented and studied by researchers, of a child's seemingly impossible memories leading to real-world verification and raising profound questions about the nature of consciousness and memory. Was it simply a product of an overactive imagination, a child's fantasy taken too far? Or was it something more profound, something truly extraordinary? The weight of the evidence, the specificity of the details, left even the most hardened skeptics with lingering questions and a sense of wonder. Sometimes closure and healing come not from forgetting the past, from burying painful memories, but from remembering, from acknowledging and integrating those memories into the tapestry of our lives. And for Cameron, that journey of remembering, of confronting his past, made all the difference in finding peace and happiness in his present. So, the year is 1930. Delhi, India, a city teeming with life, a vibrant tapestry of sights and sounds. A time of change, a time of tradition, and a time when the extraordinary could still capture the world's attention. In this bustling metropolis, a 4-year-old girl named Shanti Devi began to make an astonishing claim. She insisted, with unwavering conviction, that her real home was not in Delhi, but in Mathura, a city 145 kilometers away, a journey of both distance and destiny. She spoke of a life she claimed to have lived before, identifying herself as Lugdi Devi, the wife of a merchant named Kedar Nath. Her stories were not childish fantasies, but detailed accounts of a life lived, a love shared, and a loss deeply felt. She recounted the tragic circumstances of her previous death, a life cut short after childbirth, a painful memory that seemed to linger beyond the veil of mortality. What made Shanti's claims so compelling was the specificity of her knowledge. She described Mathura's streets with an intimate familiarity, recalling the layout of her former house with remarkable accuracy and providing details about her husband's shop that was simply uncanny for a child who had never been there. Intrigued and perplexed, a teacher decided to investigate, writing a letter to a Kedar Nath in Mathura, relaying the extraordinary claims of this young girl. To his astonishment, Kedar Nath confirmed the details, acknowledging the truth in Shanti's seemingly impossible recollections. Driven by a mixture of curiosity and disbelief, he decided to visit Shanti, cleverly posing as his own brother to test her claims. But Shanti was not fooled. She recognized him instantly, her eyes lighting up with a familiarity that defied explanation. She began to recount private conversations they had shared, intimate moments that only they could have known. She spoke of favorite foods they had enjoyed together and even revealed the existence of a hidden stash of money, details that only Lugdi Devi, his deceased wife, could have possibly known. Shanti's extraordinary story quickly spread, drawing national attention and sparking intense debate. A formal commission was established, led by respected government officials and prominent figures, to investigate the veracity of her claims. The commission decided to take Shanti to Mathura to see if she could corroborate her memories in person. Upon arrival, she confidently guided them directly to her former home, navigating the streets with an ease that belied her young age. She accurately identified members of her former family, recognizing them despite the passage of time and the changes that had inevitably occurred. She pointed out specific changes that had been made to the house since her death, details that she could not have known through any conventional means. Then came the ultimate test, the hidden money. When asked about its location, she confidently led them to the exact spot where it had been concealed, a revelation that prompted Kedar Nath to finally admit that he had indeed taken the money after his wife's death. But the most profound moment came when Shanti was reunited with her son from her past life, a young man now older than she was in her current form. She embraced him with an overwhelming surge of emotion, a mother's love transcending the boundaries of time and death. After a thorough investigation, the commission concluded that there was no rational or logical explanation for Shanti's extensive and accurate knowledge of her past life, except the possibility of reincarnation. Shanti Devi's story remains one of the most meticulously documented and thoroughly investigated cases of alleged reincarnation in history. It forces us to confront fundamental questions about the nature of memory, challenging our understanding of how experiences are stored and retrieved. It compels us to reconsider the very definition of identity and invites us to contemplate the enduring mystery of the soul. For sometimes the echoes of the past refuse to remain silent, and the secrets of a previous life emerge, demanding to be heard. In Oklahoma, 5-year-old Ryan Hammonds began describing a past life in Hollywood big houses, movie stars, and a job helping people get famous. He identified himself in a 1932 film still as an uncredited extra, later revealed to be Marty Martin, a dancer turned Hollywood agent. Ryan made over 50 specific claims about Martin's life: 2 sisters, world travel, a Beverly Hills home, and dying in Sun City at age 61. Dr. Jim Tucker's team verified many of these details, including Martin's age at death and his love of Coke floats. Ryan's memories included frustration at dying and being sent back as a baby. A meeting with Martin's daughter confirmed even more private details. For Ryan's family, the evidence was overwhelming. For Martin's daughter, it was a surreal but comforting connection. Ryan's case stands out for the sheer number of verifiable facts and the emotional intensity of his memories. Was it coincidence, cryptomnesia, or something beyond explanation? The story leaves us with more questions than answers, but it's hard to dismiss the possibility that some memories truly do survive death. Hollywood may be built on dreams, but sometimes those dreams are real. Jenny Cockle, an Englishwoman, was haunted by vivid dreams of being Mary, a young Irish mother who died in the 1930s. She remembered her cottage in Malahide, her children's names, and the crushing guilt of leaving them behind. As an adult, Jenny drew maps from memory and began searching for Mary's children. She found records of Mary Sutton, who died young, leaving several children who were separated and sent to orphanages. Jenny tracked them down, now elderly, and wrote letters describing intimate details only their mother could know. The siblings were astonished. Jenny's memories matched their childhoods in ways no outsider could fake. When she met her son Sonny, he broke down in tears, recognizing her as the mother he'd lost. The reunion brought the siblings together after decades apart. For them, Jenny was Mam, a miracle that filled a lifelong void. For Jenny, it was the fulfillment of a promise kept across lifetimes. Her story is a testament to the enduring power of love and memory. Sometimes the past calls us to heal what was left unfinished, and sometimes we answer, We've seen stories of children and adults whose memories defy explanation, cases filled with verifiable facts and deep emotion. Is consciousness truly limited to one lifetime, or does something carry on? Skeptics point to coincidence or hidden sources of knowledge, but the sheer volume and specificity of these cases challenge easy answers. Whether you believe or not, these stories remind us of the connections that bind us: love, longing, and unfinished business. Perhaps the real lesson isn't about proving what happens after death, but about the resilience of the human spirit. Maybe, just maybe, we get more than one chance to get it right. The mystery remains, but so does hope.